Welcome to the Clean With Me, the after show. Look at this sticky cast iron pan that we have here tonight that we have got to clean from the Cook With Me. It was a wonderful Cook With Me. This is all cheesy and creamy. This was a delicious creamy lemon chicken pasta. Hey, thanks for being the first one here. How you doing? Hello, thanks for joining. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you, thank you. This is the after show. This is where, hey Shay, this is the show where after I've done my Cook With Me live, I then clean up the cast iron pans. Now tonight, I only have one pan. It was a one pan meal, but it was a doozy because it is made with creamy, cheesy, lemony, everything you can imagine in this cast iron pan. I'm going to hold it up close so you can really see the way the cheese, I'm going to really let you see. Look how the cheese is all melted in there. Really, I mean, kind of a mess. Like, if this was a different kind of pan and not a cast iron pan, hey, I'm so glad you made it. Great. Thanks for joining. If this was a regular pan, believe me, this would be steel wool, soaking overnight, working on it, having your sister work on it, your daughter work on it, your friend work on it, everybody trying to work on this pan. But it's a cast iron pan and it's a seasoned pan. And what's so nice about this is this just goes to show you this pan isn't even 6 months old. It's a relatively young pan. All cast iron pans today come with some seasoning on them. So you don't, yes, you do have to continue to use it. And seasoning means that you use your pan, you clean your pan, and then you lubricate it so that it stays nice and, you said, get to the point. That's so funny. There's some people who really just think I'm too chatty, but I don't think I'm chatty because I like to explain so that you understand what we're doing and the reason that you do it. Just don't do stuff to do it. Know what you're talking about and know why you're doing things that you're doing, okay? So to recap, for all of those who have just jumped in, as even the one that says that they want me to get to the point, let me get to the point. This is a very cheesy, it says, who knew to oil the pan? That's what I'm saying. This is exactly what, that's why you need to know that. You got to oil it after every single use, because if you don't, it's going to rust and it's going to get all crappy and it's just going to be a mess. So we'll go through all those steps and we'll even talk some more afterwards. So let's talk. Usually what I like to do is when I have a couple of pans, we take a vote on which pan we're going to do first. But you know what? We only have one pan tonight, so that's what we're going to do. So there are several ways that you can clean your pan. Thank you. I agree with you. Thank you so much for that, Myra. That's right. Knowledge is power. You're absolutely right. And you know what? And the more you share your knowledge, the more that comes back to you. So what can you do with your knowledge if you keep it inside, right? You got to share it with everybody. You got to get it out and let us all know what we're talking about. You have any questions? Just shoot them out there. No question's a bad question, dumb question. A question is how you learn. So first things first. When you have, after you finish, thank you so much for the blessing. I could use it. Thank you. Important note that I want to tell you about your cast iron pans. Do not let them soak overnight because that will really mess them up. Even though this looks like a hot mess and you might not feel like it and you're kind of tired, you're going to be surprised how quickly it cleans up. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take a paper towel and just move out everything that you can move out of the pan. Everything that's still, like I've got some peas that are loose, few pieces of pasta, some chicken that's still like kind of loose in the pan. So all of that I want to take out first and just leave the really tough stuff behind that we're going to clean with. Now there's several methods. You can always go to my, hey, how you doing? You can always go to my YouTube channel, Cecily on Point. I have what's the Cast Iron Corner. And in the Cast Iron Corner, I show you various ways to clean your pan. There's the salt method, which we'll be using tonight. There's the everyday method, which is just with a spongy. There is the chainmail, which we're also going to use tonight, which I really love the chainmail and think it's just something that everybody should be aware of. You don't see it that much. So we're going to be using the salt and chainmail method to get this out of this pan, okay? So never be afraid with your cast iron. It's your best friend if you treat it right. Okay, so you see I moved everything out of here. Let me just show you what it looks like. You see? Is that messy? Is that messy enough for you? Okay. What if it has rust? If it has rust, I'll just go over this quickly. If it has rust, what you're going to do is you're going to use this salt method that we're doing right now to move that rust out of the pan. You then may need to or want to reseason it, which means that you're going to give it a heavy, generous application of oil. You can either do it on the stovetop. I have a video that shows you how to do it on the stovetop, or put it upside down in your oven for about 2 hours. And then when you take it out, you want to take out the excess oil. You want to use your pan again. You want to wash it, and then you want to lubricate it and put it away. Your rust will be gone. The key is with the rust, if you don't dry your pan thoroughly after cleaning it, it's going to rust. You might think that it's totally dry, and it's not. So I'm going to walk through all of that with you. And if that doesn't answer your question clear enough, like I said, I have that covered on my YouTube channel, so you can just go and you can check that out. I also have a guide that you can pick up, a cast iron guide. It's in the link if you want to go and get that. It's all about the care and the cooking and caring for your cast iron, so that's there too. But go to the YouTube channel. You should get everything that you need there. Okay, let's get started. So, putting this into the sink. Hi, Miss Cecily. Oh, wait, I have it up. You know what? The dinner is always, I have it posted. So you can always go back and watch it. You can get the recipe. You can send me a DM and I'll send you the recipe directly, or just watch the video. Save your questions until we come back up now, okay? So here we go. Look at this. So all of this in this pan. Look at the mess in this pan. So we're going to do two things. We're using the chainmail. This is the chainmail. I think I showed you this before. And what it is it's just a chain, literally chainmail. Sometimes they use it on fabric, various things. But this is a cast iron cleaner. Wonderful, wonderful piece. You need to own this piece, okay? You need to have a chainmail. There are plenty of ways to clean a cast iron. This, for something like this, perfect. Then we want to work with our kosher salt. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to salt the bottom. And the reason that we're using kosher salt is because it's like rock salt. And it's going to act as your abrasive. You know, because you don't want to use anything that's going to strip all of your seasoning. And what's so nice about the salt method is that, you know, it's literally not going to mess with the integrity of your seasoning. All right? That's what's so great about it. So I've got the bottom covered with my salt. And then I take my chainmail. Sometimes I would do it with my hand, but we've got the chainmail here, so let it do the heavy work. And then just go in and start scrubbing. And you see we're doing it dry. We'll add some water to it, but let's get the initial off with this chainmail. This is also good if you're out camping or you're someplace where you don't have access to water. The salt and or the chainmail is perfect for getting your pan clean. So you don't need water, really, but of course we're going to use some, but you don't have to. And you can see how the salt is starting to change color, how it's taking up all of that cheese, all of that stuck-on stuff that was in this pan. Now I'm just going to move this so that you can get a first look before we go any further. Look at how this looks already. You see how it looks already? And we just started. The chainmail is working and really doing its job. And it's such an easy way to go. You see, I'm not doing a lot of pressure. I'm not doing a lot of anything. I'm just moving it around and I'm letting the salt help with it so that I'm scrubbing, but yet and still the salt is doing a great number so that it's keeping my seasoning in place. Because if I wasn't using seasoning, this would be stripping this pan like crazy. And you don't want to do that. You just do not want to do that. But you see, look at that chainmail just doing its thing. See, I'm taking it along the side here. Isn't this amazing? It is amazing. Okay, so now I'm going to give it a little bit of water so that we can go in and kind of get the end of it. Because the key is you want your water to run clear. But look at how that white salt has changed colors. we're taking that out. Okay, so let's add some water now. Just a little bit of hot water. Let me turn you so you can see. Let's get the water hot. Get kind of hot. And we're not going to do a lot. We're just going to do a little bit of water initially. That's a little bit. That's all right now. Just to loosen it up. And again, if you didn't have water, you were in a situation with no water, you can absolutely do this with just these two things. You see how the watercolor? Let's do a first rinse here so you can really look at it. Let me do the first rinse. Look at the... Okay, now I'm going to let the water kind of run over it so you can see. You see? Look at that. Now you see, because I'm using hot water, you can see where this cheese is still. Still have to get that area. But you can also see how the salt is starting to come back to its natural color, because all of that cheese and all of that gunk that was in there is now going out. And because I'm using hot water, I'm able to see the cheese. Look at the salt. Isn't that something, how the salt is white again? See the little bit of salt that's left there? Okay. Now let's go back in here. Let's get this little bit of, right here we want to get. That area right there. Okay. Make sure we get the side. Okay, let's take a look. Look at that. Do you see that? Is that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Leave it right there. Let's give it a rinser. Look at that. Isn't that something? Can you believe this is the same pan? Look at how all of that just came out. All of it. Going on the sides just to verify. But yeah, it's good. Look at that. You see that pan? Isn't that amazing? Doesn't even look like the same pan, does it? Amazing. Just amazing. Look at what that chainmail did. Take our paper towel. You see, it's clean. Do the paper towel test. Pat it dry. It's all clean. You see? That's how you know your pan is clean. But you would think that this would be good, and that's how you want it. Looks beautiful. It's got everything out of it. It's all nice and clean. You say, okay, I can put this away. No. No, if you put this away right now, this is going to rust. Okay, I'm going to pull the camera up so we can chat a little bit and you can see this up close. Any questions? Isn't that something? Simple, right? Look. Same pan. Same pan. We did that in what, 3 minutes with the salt and the chainmail. I'm taking my paper towel now. Turn me down a little bit. Taking my paper towel, just, oops, that's too far down. Just so that you can see that I'm totally drying both the back, inside. So now here's the key. Here is the big tip, okay? Now what you do, let me move this. So I have something in the way here. So let me get this out of the way. Still trying to clean up from our delicious dinner that we made tonight. It was great. If you get a chance, go back and take a look at it. It's a little creamy lemon chicken pasta. Yummy. Okay, so what I'm going to do now The key is to put it on the stove. And, of course, that burner. Is this one going to work? Perfect. Let me show you how the burner is. You see, now look, I'm turning it down. See how much I'm turning it way down? You see how low it is? Come close. See how low that burner is? Really, really low. And the reason that we're doing that is that A, we want to make sure that it gets 100% dry, and B, you want it to open the pores up. It's a very porous pan. So when you open it up with the heat, and then let it cool ever so slightly, it's then going to take that in. Oh, good. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. All you need is the chainmail and the salt. It cleans it up in a whiz. So once this opens up, you want it to get kind of warm. Not super, super hot, but just kind of warm. And then we're going to use some balm. This is a balm that I've created that's going to be available in a couple of weeks. But if you don't have a balm, you can use any kind of oil of your preference. You could use grapeseed, sunflower, avocado, any kind of oil that you'd like to use, you can use on your pan. I like a balm, and that's why I've worked so hard with really just trying to come up to develop something, because I like being able to, really get it in there and let it sit, let it absorb, and then take out the balance. And it leaves a beautiful pan. It really does. Okay, so now this is feeling good. So now, what you want to do now is we're going to take a piece of paper towel, and I'm going to take just a little bit of the balm here. You see, I've got like a finger full. This is a balm that I developed. It's got beeswax and sunflower, grapeseed, just natural oils that really, really work very, very well on here. So now I'm turning off my fire. And while it's still warm, I'm going in with my balm just to kind of coat it. Let me bring you closer so you can see. It just drinks it right up really, really nicely. You want it to have this beautiful glisten. There we go. Along the sides, handles, and you just want it to drink this up. And you let this cool for a couple of minutes. Just let it cool. You see how beautiful it looks? Can you see? Let me see. You can see. Yeah, you see? Wait a minute. Let me turn you this way so you can see. Sorry, folks. Now you can see. You see? See how beautiful it looks? Really beautiful. It's glistening, shining. Really looks nice. But you don't put your pan away like this. You let this sit for a little while. Just for a little while. Because if you put it away like this, it's really going to be very sticky. It's going to have too much oil in it. So, it's almost like the Goldilocks syndrome, okay? You don't want it to have too little. You don't want it to have too much. You want it to be just right. And you become one with your cast iron after a while so that you know how much oil it needs. But it's good to give it a good coating like this and just allow it just to rest. Just let it rest. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How do we keep it from rusting? What I'm doing right now. This is what's going to keep it from rusting. Just what I'm explaining to you. That you heat it, you oil it, and then you want to take a microfiber cloth. You have a nice microfiber cloth, and then you just wipe out the excess. Let me show you. Look. Just wipe out the excess. Look. See how it's just wiping right out? And it's just leaving what it needs to. And you're going to see the difference in a minute. Look. See the difference? How it's not, it's shiny, but it's not like glistening. You see? So now, in the morning, the reason I don't recommend using a paper towel for this step is because of the lint that comes from a paper towel. The microfiber really, or you could use an old t-shirt, just something that's not going to have any fiber left behind. because you don't want that, hanging out in your cast iron pan. But look at how nice this looks. Now tomorrow morning, believe it or not, even more of this would have gotten drunk up by the pan. The pan would have, what's the term? How should I be saying that? That's not proper. The pan would drink up even more of the oil overnight, so that when you look at this in the morning, it's still going to have that nice shine to it, but not so brilliant, okay? And that's the key. That's how you keep it from rusting, by doing that. Let me show you one of these other pans. So I've got a few pans. I've got this one. This is a legacy pan. And look at how it looks. Now, I used this pan a few days ago. Look how old it is. Look at the back. A lot of people are concerned about that. Don't worry about the back when it's like that. Just don't. If it starts like chipping off and really becoming a problem, then you can start to worry about getting it off. But it's fine like this. But look at the inside is my point. This is a pan that I did the exact same thing with. Now, I haven't used this pan maybe in 3 days, but look at how beautiful it looks. Just from doing the same method. Washing it, drying it, heating it on the stove, lubricating it, and then taking out the excess. It makes a beautiful pan. This pan isn't rusting. I could make it rust, I'm sure, but that's not going to rust. It's got that nice smooth finish. Then I have this one over here. This one is interesting. It's not going to give you that same glisten, but it still does have a little bit of a shine to it. And the reason being is that this has a rougher surface. There's some new cast iron pans that come with more of like a pebbly surface. It isn't a soft, like this one's kind of pebbly, the one that we just cleaned with the cheese in it, but not as much as this. This one was really pebbly. And someone even just contacted me today about, my cast iron. She said, my cast iron isn't smooth, it's rough on the bottom. Well, you have to make that pan conform to how you want it to be. Just because it's not smooth per se like the one I just showed you, or even kind of like this one, if you keep using it and keep seasoning it, it's going to conform. It will become stick free, even though it's got that surface, which this one is becoming more and more. So you need to use your pans, and the whole idea is the rotation. If you have a few cast irons, and I have a lot, I'm always having to first of all do a well check. I go in to make sure everybody's doing good. I go in to see, okay, I haven't used this one in a minute, let me use it. And, and then just working with the ones that need work. Like this big one that had the cheese in it, this one had really been giving me some problems. But I keep using it in different situations so that I have to clean it different ways until finally the pans start to conform, and you know what pan you can use for what. You can use them all for everything. But you just have your go-to pans, you want to use one if you're going to be sauteing, or one if you're going to be putting it in the broiler, or if you're going to be putting it out on the grill. You become one with your pans, and you know which ones you want to use. But the key is to make sure that they all do what you want them to do. So that means that you wash them right, dry them right, heat them up, oil them, take out the excess, and you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. And there is no bad cast iron. If it gets rusty, it can be fixed. There's nothing that can't be fixed. You never have to throw out your cast iron. You never have to say, oh, I'm done, I'm finished. Never have to do that. These pans, and then finally, let me show you my legacy piece. How can I forget? This one, this is really amazing. This Dutch oven, it's over 100 years old. My grandmother gave me this piece. Look at this. This company isn't even in business anymore, Wagner. Okay, and here's the inside. Look at the inside. See how beautiful? Over 100 years old this pan is. Same situation. So it's all about, they become legacy pieces. You take care of them, and they will be there for you through a generation of cooking, and enough for you to even, pass along to somebody who loves cast iron, or somebody who's never used them before. There's not a greater gift than to give somebody who's new in an apartment, or new in a marriage, or out on their own, learning how to cook, to give them a nice seasoned cast iron. that's a great gift. It's really a great gift. I would love to be able to eventually, no time soon, pass these pans on to someone who has never experienced all the greatness of cast irons. So that's what this is all about. It's really just to tell you, get your cast irons, purchase them. It's great cookware. There's nothing like it. You're not going to find anything that's going to give you the longevity or that's going to be as reliable, that's going to have the heat, the cooking, everything that you need, you're going to find in these pans. You don't have to have 100 of them. You know, you have a couple of good sizes, like this one here, you know, this is a big 12-inch, this is a 10-inch, this is an 8-inch, then I have my Dutch oven, then I have little ones, more than I feel like dragging out. I have a lot. I have a lot of them. I even have these, look. I even have these babies. Look. Isn't that funny? Is that the cutest thing? And I even did this morning what I did with it. How do you season it? Go to my YouTube channel. I will show you. But in brief, let me tell you. What you do is you can do a stovetop version or you can do it in your oven. There are two ways to season. First of all, cast irons usually 99.9% cast irons come pre-seasoned today. You can request that they come raw and you season them because some people are such purists they want to do that. But the majority of them are going to already come pre-seasoned, so you really don't have to reseason. But however, if you want to, you put a heavy application of oil on your pan. If you're doing it on the stovetop, which you can see in the video, you just let it really get hot, cool it down, wipe it down, and just repeat that about 3 times. If you want to do it in the oven, you do that same method, heavy oil, put it in the oven at 375, upside down. Thank you, it is a blessing. Thank you, Mama. Good to see you. You put it in there upside down, you let it stay in there for about an hour, and then you take it out and then use as regular. That's how you season your pans. But you really just don't need to do it. It have to be an extreme situation with, you know, some extreme issues in order for you to have to reseason today. Just use your pan, just oil your pan. That's seasoning it. When people say, how do you season it? That's how you season it. You use it, you clean it, you use a good balm, oil it, and that's how you're seasoning it. So it's all about the more you use it, the better it gets. It really, that's the best advice I can give you. Don't be afraid to do anything in it. There's certain things you probably shouldn't do a lot of, like they don't want you to do a lot of citrus, they don't want you to do a lot of acidy foods, tomato and whatnot. But truthfully, you can do whatever you want. Just clean it up afterwards, just like we did with that cheese. Did you guys see how this pan looked when we first started this? It was crazy. I mean, cheese was stuck all up along the sides, and if I had left that for the next morning, what a mess. Don't use steel wool. If you're going to use a scrubby, if you don't want or have the chainmail, get yourself just a good scrub, like a good scrubby like this, one of these like kind of plastic scrubbies. This is what you use this with water, just with water. You can use soap, but you don't need soap. You don't, because you don't want to strip the seasoning. It's all about the seasoning. You work hard to get that seasoning. You don't want to strip it away. You don't. So I think that's everything, but if you have any questions, anybody else have any questions, now's the time to fire out those questions. Anything that I can help you with, be sure that you can always DM me. People always DM me, asking me questions, and it's my pleasure to answer. If you want more information, I have a guide that you can click on the link in my bio, and you can see I have a cast iron care and cooking and care, I think it is, cooking and care guide that's chock full of all kinds of everything you could want to know, FAQs, everything about cast iron. And you can go to the YouTube channel because I've got a video on just about anything you want to know about cast iron. So this is something that I do weekly. So if you missed any of this, I'll have it posted on my wall so that you can watch it if you'd like to. And if you have any questions, please reach out. Really, please reach out. This is I enjoy doing this every week after my cooking show, which is at 7:05. We do some great food, and I always do it in a cast iron so that you can see, cook with your cast iron, and then clean it up. It's easy peasy, easy peasy. Any more questions? Anything else that you'd like to say or ask or know about or anything at all? Now's your time. We've got like about 3 minutes left. So if you have anything that you'd like to know about or any questions, comments, input, now's the time. Jump on in with it. I am here, available, love to chat, love to give info. So if not, then we'll get ready to sign off. And I look forward to seeing all of you during the week. And if I don't see you during the week, I look forward to seeing you next Friday when we'll be doing the same thing as we do every single Friday. And we'll continue to through the season. So that all said, I hope you all have a great evening. Keep using your cast iron. Keep cleaning with your cast irons. Keep cooking with your cast irons. Don't be afraid of them. They will be here forever and a year. Okay? They're not going anywhere. Don't be afraid. If it gets rust, just clean it up and move it out. Okay? All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This was great as always. I'll see you during the week. Pick up that guide. Check me out on YouTube. And I will see you whenever you pop in. Good night. Take care. Doesn't want to go off. I think I've got to do it this way. Let's see. Let's see how we can make this happen. Put the finger right there, and now try it. Still doesn't want to. Nah, you're going nowhere, lady. You're going nowhere, lady.